Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. You know how police departments often work hand-in-hand with control freaks to stage gun buybacks? Well, the New Hampshire Libertarian Party organized a gun buyback, except this time they were asking for Manchester police officers to turn in their guns in exchange for gift cards or a donut. They held signs saying "End qualified immunity" and "Save the dogs." No, they didn't have any takers, but I don't think they really expected to either. Farva here looks particularly unimpressed. So what's the point of all this? Well, for one thing, other so-called buybacks can't actually buy back property which never belonged to the Catholic Church or the city or the police department or the mayor or whatever. But these citizens paid for those guns, so the terminology is correct. And it's worth noting that local police are going to be the ones who actually enforce gun laws. We're never going to see the Fed boys holding hands with the blue helmets, skipping down the lane to kick in doors all across the nation, seizing all the guns. As much as they want to, they just don't have the manpower.
We're not just gonna let you walk out of here. Who's we, sucker? Smith and Wesson?
But it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors. So let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Springfield Armory.
New for 2023 is the Springfield Echelon. The striker-fired polymer frame pistol features Springfield's new variable interface system for mounting multiple optic footprints and the serialized cog fire control for inserting into multiple frames. Find out more at springfield-armory.com.
And by TNVC.com.
See at nighttime. Nighttime seeing is important. Don't you want to see things? Seeing things is better. What's wrong with you? You don't want to see things. TNVC.
Well, it looks like somebody at the Department of Justice was embarrassed by Hunter Biden's get-out-of-jail-free card, and they rescinded that open-ended plea deal. That means Hunter might actually face some form of consequences for lying on the 4473 when he bought a gun as a crackhead.
Peanut butter and crap.
Kidding. Of course he won't actually face any consequences, but if he doesn't get another sweet plea deal, his attorneys might actually have to fight the charge in court. If so, they have a fair chance of being successful. Last week, I told you about a case from Mississippi where a man caught with guns and left-handed cigarette butts got his case dismissed. The sweet irony of seeing the crackhead son of President Poopy Pants lead the charge for gun rights is one thing, but the money and power that family can throw into the fight is also encouraging. What do you think? Will Hunter Biden's lawyers win, or will his dad protect him? Will there ever be a day when men are treated equally under the law? If you want to maintain the state's monopoly on violence, but the stupid courts say you have to issue carry permits, what can you still do to keep oppressing the people? Well, you could try losing their permit applications, I guess. Carmen Marino submitted his application to the Erie County clerk well over a year ago, but he still hasn't heard back from them. When he called to check on it, he was told he must be one of those people whose application was lost. How many other applications were lost?
Unclear.
But it sure seems convenient. I know, never attribute to malice that which can be explained by incompetence, but government agencies are a special blend of both. We're going to need another GOA FOIA request. But there's only so long you can pretend to lose applications, so control freaks need a better way to keep the lower classes in their place. New Jersey plans to do that with a ridiculously difficult qualification test lazily copy and pasted directly from their police qualification standards. Now, if you're new to guns and shooting, it might sound reasonable for anyone carrying a gun to be as proficient as a police officer. And don't get me wrong, I think you ought to be more proficient than a police officer. Except police are expected to pass their qualification test with a duty-sized pistol. Regular folks who carry a pistol normally prefer smaller, easier to conceal guns which are harder to shoot well. Do you think you can draw and fire 4 rounds in 30 seconds at 25 yards using a J-frame revolver or a subcompact pistol like a Shield or 365? Can a new shooter be expected to do that? What kind of situation would it take for someone to even be able to articulate a need to use deadly physical force at that kind of distance? At 10 yards, you are expected to get 2 hits in 3 seconds. At 5 yards, you have to draw, transfer the gun to your weak hand, and get 2 hits all in 3 seconds. There are, of course, several more drills totaling 50 rounds all in all. All of them need to be fired on an FBI Q target, and you need 80% to pass. This qualification isn't exactly impossible, but it would be challenging enough for many shooters even using a full-size duty pistol. It would be nearly impossible for a new shooter on a small handgun, and you're only allowed to carry the pistol that you qualified with. We've posted a link to the standards down there in the description. As always, let us know if you think you could pass it. Irrespective of the difficulty, no other enumerated right requires a permit and a test. Pull tests are illegal, and no one would even consider requiring a literacy test to be allowed to purchase a journalism permit, so why do we allow this sort of nonsense? And now, for your moment of zen.
Can you give me the gun of Rambo? Hey, listen, boys and girls, this is a public service announcement. I keep hearing all of these, well, politicians say weapons of war, when what they're really talking about is freaking personal defense weapons. Let me just show you, for the White House, this is a weapon of war! Yeah, baby, that's a weapon of war.
Hey friends, do you like pews and other pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.